September 21st. If we could first start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First is attendance.
So noted.
And then next we have public comment. Is anybody here that is not an applicant that would like to speak? Okay, we'll close public comment. And next we'll go to approvals. So if this is your first time, we start with Wade, and then you can also come up and add after. So first we have 36300 Woodward Avenue for the Jewish Values Institute.
Public comment?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah,
There was nobody there. I closed it. Oh, I missed minutes.
minutes, yeah. You did a public comment, though.
The public comment not happening throws me every once in a while. Sorry, approval of minutes for the September 7th. We've all had a chance to look it over. Do we have any changes? If not, I'd look for a motion.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
That does pass. All right, now we'll go to the Jewish Institute of Values Institute. And if the applicant wants to come up also.
Good afternoon. We have a special event application for the Jewish Values Institute at 36300 Woodward Avenue between the dates of October 10th to October 17th for the Sukkot Festival. And this event is planned to have 1 to 20 people per day. And it will consist of a sukkah structure to serve as a temporary break room for the building's occupants to eat snacks and meals during the festival as required by the Jewish religion. The sukkah will be decorated and potentially include words. It is an 80 to 100 square foot structure that will have no impact on the existing parking on the site, as it is not intended for any numbers of people beyond the usual occupants of the building itself. And there will be no additional activities on the site except for those in the building eating their snacks and lunch in this alternative location. You can see that the location of the proposed structure is located here off Maywood Avenue in this location right here. You also can see in the photos I've provided approximately where this blue pole is located is where the structure will be located. It's really very well screened from Maywood, and you can see the access door there where people can just come out and use the structure itself. So I did include the department comments in the file, none of which had any negative concerns with the structure and the time frame. So I'll turn it over to the applicant for further.
Good morning. Sorry, good afternoon. It's been a long day already.
I understand.
I'm Rob LaBelle. I'm here on behalf of the Jewish Value Institute. Sukkot means booth. It's one of 5 major Jewish holidays. It goes over 7 days. It means booth because you take your meals in the booth. Which is what will be constructed in that parking spot we're talking about. It's going to be 8 foot by 10 foot. That usually has branches of some sort, palm, bamboo, something over the top of it. The letters that you were mentioning were actually in the inside of the facility for the purpose of, contemplation, worship. The persons who are actually there are only going to be the same persons who are actually at the facility. This is not the festival booths actually occurring here. It's that a practicing Jew in this time period during the festival would go and take their meals inside the booth. So if someone who's there for another reason at the Jewish Values Institute, an employee at one of the programs, et cetera, would take their snacks or their meal inside the booth itself during that time period. So the 1 to 20 just refers to not to 20-person event occurring there. It just means, you know, the number of persons who may be at the facility at any given time. So there's no technical event occurring here, but there's no category to fit it in within the ordinance, so it's a special event permit that we're looking for.
Perfect. Thank you. Any questions? Look for a motion.
So moved?
Motion by Treasurer Keeps,
Support?
support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
That does pass.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For your application explanation.
Thank you.
Nice, see, Bob.
All right, so next we have 2300 South Telegraph Road, the DTE Appliance Recycling Event.
Sounds familiar.
The DTE recycling drop-off event is scheduled for October 1st between the hours setup beginning at 7:30 a.m. until 3 p.m. When the event will be torn down and removed. It is at the current ABC Warehouse parking lot at 2300 South Telegraph Road, proposed to be held at the ABC Warehouse. It is an opportunity for DTE customers to recycle refrigerators, freezers, air conditioners, and dehumidifiers and receive a rebate check from the event. There's an anticipated 125 persons to attend the event. And again, I took some photos and included in your packet. This was the site plan actually provided by the applicant. Telegraph Road here, coming in, going southbound on Telegraph into the ABC warehouse. And then there will be 4 DTE box trucks shown in these orange rectangles for the loading of the appliances as they come through. And then they will proceed back out around the building and then back out to Telegraph. And a current overhead shot of the parking lot. This event will take place in this back corner. And pictures, as you can see, existing conditions pretty much mirror the overhead. This is the drive aisle back out behind ABC Warehouse building. Back out and around and back out to Telegraph where there's the flashing lights. So Danina Wilford is here to further explain. Have any questions?
Hello, everyone. I am here on behalf of DTE Appliance Recycling Program. I just received the position as the program manager.
Congratulations,
So
all right.
Thank you. I was excited about this drop-off event. Usually, we will go to customers' homes, pick up, like he stated, as Wade stated, refrigerator, freezer, we'll pay you $50 for it. A dehumidifier, an air conditioner, we'll pay you $20 for it. But at the drop-off event, we up the ante, and the incentives now will be $100 for your refrigerator, $30 for your small appliance. We're really just trying to keep our name out there, build our numbers up, and also assist the community. We're getting rid of refrigerators, air conditioners, things that they don't use or really is not energy efficient.
My only question is, it's the same day as our large township recycling event, just a mile or 2 down the road. So how are you guys messaging in it when you make sure to, because we have people that will wait over an hour in our line, and I would hate for someone with a refrigerator to wait over an hour to be told, sorry, you're 2 miles. Like, they picked the exact same day as our annual recycling event.
Oh, okay. Well, we have about 12 staff members that's there. We also have 2 customer service reps, so we can keep the line going. It's usually in and out for the most part because everything is there. So when they pull up, our guys, they take everything off the truck, load them up, give them their registration form, and let them know how much money that they'll be receiving for the rebate.
I think I'm more worried about them hearing that you're having an event, but thinking it's our event, and coming to our line, which will be over an hour because we get thousands of people that come through.
Oh, no, I don't think it would be a mix-up with
Okay, so
DTE because we have pre-registered
Okay,
customers that already registered for it.
okay. Okay. That was my only worry, is that it's literally only 2 miles away from each other, and we've been messaging a recycling event.
Oh,
And I
wow.
just would hate for them to show up and be in the wrong line. So that was my only fear.
What's the name of you all's recycling program that you're doing?
Household recycling event.
What all do you all accept?
What, not those. We don't accept it at all. That's what I mean. They'd be wasting over an hour because we're gonna have to send them away.
Oh, no, as soon as they
We-
pull up
we-
to the line, they usually come in trailers, and they'll let us know, hey, I pre-registered for this, and so we have the log sheets and everything.
Yeah, I'm more worried of them showing up to our event, thinking it's your event. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if somebody hears, oh, it's the recycling event at the township, I'm bringing my refrigerator, because they'll mistake them as the same event.
On our DTE website,
Okay.
it specifies, it should be out by the 22nd, where they know it's specifically at the 2300. See, we had a drop-off event here before, so our customers are familiar with it. I wasn't the program manager then.
Okay.
And this is new, coming in front of the board, you know? But no, DTE will post it on its site stating the appliance recycling program.
That is, okay. All right, well, if it happens, it happens. Hopefully
I'm
we'll
excited.
coordinate well now that we have a new person who's on the ball and in charge. We can maybe separate the dates a little next year, because I assume you'll have it again, right?
I would love to have it
Great.
again next year here.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, and we can come together and make sure that we don't
Yeah,
overlap or
absolutely.
have any issues.
Anyone else have any questions?
No.
Great. And I'd look for a motion.
Move to approve as presented.
Motion by Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
That does pass. Good luck with the event.
Thank you.
And next we have signs. So we have 43110 Woodward Avenue, Dunkin' Donuts.
Take care. Good luck.
Yes, thanks.
Bye, congratulations on the new
Good
job.
luck.
I wonder if we should put I'm gonna tell them to put a sign like DTE that way. That would be rough, long wait.
Well, we see a trailer show up.
I was gonna say, if we see someone with a refrigerator,
Except we won't see it for
right
an
away.
hour, because
Someone- we
it's
could-
it's
we
a
could have
mile
someone
down
walk.
the road. So I can maybe put some signs out just saying like, DT event that way or something. Better than making them wait. Great.
So Dunkin' Donuts is before you for a face change and LED retrofit to the existing ground sign at 43119 Woodward Avenue. There is no change to the actual structure or base of this sign. It's a reface and lighting update. The sign is 27.5 square feet, which is the same as the previous, and it is 4 foot 6 inches tall, which is within the 5 foot maximum height in this zone district. There was a variance approved in May of 2013 for the 2 foot setback off of Woodward Avenue, and there will be no exposed neon or moving parts or flashing lights. The orange and magenta are going to be translucent, and the black little cloud structure on the top will be opaque vinyl, so there won't be anything. It's the fact that it's there now in its current design. They're just wanting to keep the overall fit for the face change. So, any questions? The applicant is also here.
Hello, I'm Kevin from Metro Detroit Signs, and yeah, it's just time for a change, time for an upgrade on this sign. The coffee and more is no longer their like sort of tagline, so they're just updating the face a little bit with some new design that emphasizes the drive-through, and it's going to be the exact same size as what they have. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Anyone have any questions?
I guess have a comment. Given that the steam from the coffee no longer exists, it would seem to me it would make sense just to remove that and put a new top piece so that it's just straight across, because otherwise you've got this bump up that kind of doesn't really match anything or make
Sure,
sense.
and I suppose that's definitely possible. We certainly can do that, but then you're sort of cutting into the existing cabinet, and then it no longer becomes a face change. Technically, like, yes, it is still kind of just a face change, but once you alter the structure of the sign, we were concerned with, once we do that, we might not be able to get approved. We might need to get a sidewalk electrical inspection, rather than if you just go in and do a face change. It's just really simple for everybody, and bada bing, there we go, we're finished. So, but obviously, we have the option of sort of squaring off the cabinet, if that's what you're getting at. It's just then it becomes much more expensive. I don't know if we would need to get a whole new cabinet, or if there's a way to sort of mold the existing cabinet. I'm not sure. I'm not a sign installer. I'm sure that's possible. I just don't know what that would entail or what that would cost.
My question has to do with the setback.
Okay.
So that was a variance previously granted. They'll need to do the variance again or not?
They will not.
Because it's a
Okay.
face. That's
And
what
is
he's-
once one, right, if we
once you
change
make a change.
and then we have to do another variance on that issue?
Would that require, just squaring it off, require a
Well,
variance?
Because the variance was specific to the sign that was presented to the ZBA, so it would be altering the sign.
So if he were to square it off, then it alters the sign, so then we go back to square
Then we
one.
have to
I
go
mean,
back.
we've been pretty literal when it comes to the signage reviews by the
Yeah.
ZBA and the design review board.
So Kevin, is there an ability to keep the thing of coffee and put your same Dunkin' drive-through adjacent to it so that the coffee's still there, but you just have different verbiage? Rather than Dunkin' Donuts Coffee and More, it would just say Dunkin' drive-through? And keep the
I'm
coffee?
sure that's possible. I don't know if Dunkin' Donuts has that in sort of their brand book of signs. The difficult part about these national companies is they have sort of a small handful of sign designs that are corporate accepted across the country, whether you're in Dallas, Chicago, Detroit, whatever. I highly doubt their new Dunkin' drive-through branding. I highly doubt any of it still has the coffee cup with that circle, with that sort of rounded top.
Well, I would even doubt more that there's any Dunkin' drive-throughs with a black thing or whatever color that's going to be on the side just sticking up. I mean, that doesn't really, it just seems odd.
Right. And I guess what we were getting at with not going with a new cabinet is, as she mentioned, once you alter the structure of the sign, technically it's no longer a face change, even though it's pretty much the same size or smaller. Then we would have to go back and maybe not get a setback variance. We would have to get new UL tags, make a new illuminated cabinet. Like I said, I don't know if legally you're allowed to alter that cabinet and keep the same UL numbers and UL listing, or if you have to, by law, treat it like it's a brand new cabinet and just start over from scratch and make a whole new cabinet and get new UL tags and a new amps and volts and manufacturer's label. You might have to, I'm not sure. And if you ask the folks at UL, they love to charge you to do that. So they'll say, yes, of course you need to get new UL tags. Pay us a few $1,000s. You know?
Do you want to check with corporate to see if you can put the coffee cup there?
So you're saying leave the coffee cup where it is and just change the copy
Yeah.
on the sort of right side of the sign as you're looking at it to say Dunkin' drive-through. I can check with them to see if that's doable. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to table it until, I guess, the next meeting. How much time do you think you need?
I mean, normally they get back to us pretty quickly.
Okay, so we'll just table it until the next meeting.
So they're every 2 weeks. Do you think you'd have it back by then?
Sure, and if I don't, I'll let you guys know, and then we can bump it to the next one. That's
Okay,
fine.
thanks, Kevin.
I support the motion.
Motion by Treasurer Keep, support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
So next we have site improvements with 2275 South Telegraph Road, Valvoline.
So fairly straightforward in this instance. Valvoline is looking to install a generator in this location right there. Here is the main building and the rear pull-in bays. They are proposing 5.5-foot long masonry wall screens to hide the generator from public view. And essentially, this is what the screen walls will look like. And it will be the same materials as the main building. You can see its current site conditions. This one will show the location a little bit better. Here's the dumpster enclosure here, and these walls will come out towards the building for 5.5 feet in length to match the materials of the same materials of the building and dumpster screen. So the applicants are here to add any other details or answer any questions.
My name's Dan Boyle. I'm Construction Project Manager with Valvoline, and Jason Mick is with Hannah Design, our general contractor. This is all started because we have a serious underground water problem. During the excavation, we literally hit water geysers shooting up 4 to 6 inches in the ground. There's so much water pressure there. During this time, we put in what they call a well point drainage system, which is running 42 different pipes all the way around the property to pump the water out so we could build our building. During that time, we pumped over 3 million gallons of water out, which is a considerable amount of water under there. Our standard practice is that we put in 2 pump wells. You can see that they're actually on that, the 2 black circles there on the opposite corners. They take care of the underground water as a general rule, but because this is so heavy with the water, we've doubled the number of pumps and the size of the pumps to take care of the water underground. Our only concern is that if we were to have a power failure, we could have massive flooding around our waterproof building. So what we're asking to do is put in a generator as a backup. Should for some reason we lose power to our building, we can continue to pump the water so we don't flood ourselves or any of the neighbors in the area. And what we're asking for basically is just putting up a couple of wing walls on the side so the public cannot see the generator. It's just a vision screen.
I saw the wells there during your construction when it was all open, and I thought there must be some environmental something, and you were...
No,
so
it
now
was
I get
water.
it. Okay, wow.
They sent me pictures when they dug the pit, the basement. There was 2 pictures of water spouting about like that.
Huh.
We were very concerned about how we were just going to put the concrete in there and keep it down so it didn't float up.
Well, I get it. I saw it. So I can certainly understand the need, and it doesn't look like it's going to obscure. Is there landscaping around the garbage receptacle?
There is some landscape around there, yes, sir.
So can we continue the landscaping around
Oh, yeah, we'll
this
continue
so
the
that-
landscaping. We're just, the back end of that trash enclosure where the generator's going, that'll just have the 2 wing walls and then a concrete pad for the generator to sit on.
So that, and if that's the opposite side from, where's Costco? Where's the drive?
That drive's right here.
That's the drive between our site
The
and the
gas
gas station.
So you're looking at it from that exit point then?
Yes.
Okay. So as long as the landscape, I guess, continues along that.
Oh, absolutely,
masonry
yeah.
wall, I
Yeah.
don't have an issue with it.
And I like that they fully covered a generator with a really nice
Yeah.
extension of a building.
Well, did a great job.
I
on
mean,
that.
that's an expense, so
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. It looks really good.
Quick question, where do you pump the water to? That's a lot of
Into
water.
a underground retention pond. In the back of the property, we have a very large retention pond underground, and then it gradually discharges into the storm sewer.
And that's all gone through the EESD, and that's all,
That was
Yes,
part
sir.
of your site plan approval?
yeah, yes.
A year ago?
Oh, okay, so this part, I don't recall discussing this part of it during our last
So is
discussion.
it
That
just
wouldn't be,
more
but-
water?
There wasn't
But-
need, there wasn't
right.
need to, because it was gonna be addressed by engineering.
But there's more water or less, but,
It's just that
Not
the
more
circumstances based on the site conditions, it's just part of the development.
So there's more water than they thought they would have,
considerably.
Correct.
but not enough water that we need to worry from an
Nothing in-
EESD
No.
span
No.
of flooding that
And they're
other
still part
area.
of the engineering permits, we're part of the building permits, so they are under current permit application.
Okay.
Yep, they're good
And-
to go.
No concern about
Flooding where they're sending
Flooding
all
or
this
sort of
extra
slash-
new water
slash
that we didn't know
pollution.
about.
back into the,
Engineering has been on top of this.
okay,
And
great.
that's why we were asking for the generator, in
Yeah.
case we do lose power, we do not create that
Okay.
problem.
Excellent.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's important to note, it's important to note that there's no drains in this facility. So there's no drains in this lower area or anything like that. So when you talk about pollution, it's designed in a manner that, there's no drains in the lower level.
No, it's 100% waterproof inside and out.
Okay, so if there's a spill in the, the working area, that it doesn't get back into the water table there?
Cannot, there are no drains or anything in the bottom pit, none whatsoever.
Okay, excellent. I'm prepared to make a motion. I move we approve as presented,
Motion by
with the condition that the
landscape.
landscaping is extended as discussed.
Yeah, we'll continue the landscape as is.
Support?
Motion by Clerk Brooks, support by Treasurer Keeps. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that does pass.
One question from you, I know you don't have the final say-so, but we're finding out that this generator is a 8 to 10 week lead item. Would you have any objection to us just putting the wing walls up and everything in anticipation of the generator and then being able to get a TCO to open?
That'd be perfectly fine, yes. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good luck.
Thank you. Hopefully it goes easy for you. All right, so next we have 1751 South Telegraph Road, Detail Express.
So the applicant is looking to do some new painting of the facade of their building, changing from white and yellow to a dark gray and yellow. There are a few color sample swatches on your desk showing the dark gray. So this is the
Hello.
previous color scheme. You can see the somewhat darker yellow mustard here, and then just light gray white building. They are proposing this color scheme here, the darker gray with a little bit more vibrant yellow.
Do we have the yellow? I was more concerned about the yellow swatch than the gray swatch, to be honest. Do you have the swatch for the yellow?
I do not have the swatch for the yellow.
Okay, you can keep going. Sorry, I figured it.
And here's the side. Just want to mention that this request does not include these changes to the door structures and window structures. It's just the request for the paint color change at this point. And that's a current existing photo of the building. So I believe the yellow has already been,
That looks
changed.
different than this color, yeah.
Right.
Because it used to be orange in this color.
right, so that's,
So did somebody
I
already
believe that's
paint
the
it?
new paint color that's been installed.
So they already painted before approval?
I haven't actually been to the building. If that picture was taken 2 days ago, then I would assume that did get painted, yes.
So it's even brighter than I thought. Okay, do you want to add anything?
We just found aesthetically, as bright white as it was, it really stood out on that corner, which is great. However, this color scheme matches our color scheme, and it does look aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
You guys want to start?
To me, it matches kind of the Ferrari on Orchard Lake, and it matches the, looks like the Telegraph directional sign along the, so I don't have a problem with the yellow, and I think the gray kind of mutes what the white what is, so I think it looks good.
Yeah, the surrounding dealerships have some fairly bold colors, but we tried to stay, I mean, the yellow accents are very small. It is just that portion. Wouldn't have been my personal choice. However, I do support it, of course. But aesthetically, it does look pleasing with the other automotive areas around there.
So this is not as throwing you off as much as that black little spot on a sign? This bright yellow doesn't catch your eye more than that tiny little black spot?
We're onto this topic now.
I
so
know,
let's
but
do
I'm
it.
just saying, this one's super noticeable. It doesn't have the same issue?
I think that's the goal of this. The goal of the other was to obscure it, and it wasn't going to get obscured. The other one was trying to cover up a mistake or something that was, this is planned. It looks like, to me, it's planned. It looks good.
The curb appeal is nice. We are going to address the landscaping, of course. I want to get on whatever roadside is doing. They have the most beautiful lawn. We just haven't obviously moved forward with that yet.
Do you have any comments?
Not really. Does the yellow on the other side, there's the yellow we can see on the door, and it comes around the corner. Does the yellow on the other side also go around the corner?
No, it does not. It does not. That side faces roadside, very uniform, very pristine.
It's the same yellow as in the logo, the sign that's Detail
Correct.
Express?
It is this, I would hope it matches pretty close if that's the one that he shows. But yes, the signage is out, the front sign that we had chose, which was our road sign. And we are on the review board to get the building sign addressed as soon as possible, so that brings it all into unison as well.
Is the building sign going to have bright yellow on it too?
The logo is really beautiful, very simple. I do believe, but it's not, it's just a little hint of yellow. Do you have a new one up there? And then
Well,
did I
that looks like
include
the road sign, the monument sign picture has it.
Is the building sign going to be the same as the,
Yep, they're gonna match, they're identical.
We didn't put it in a PowerPoint that's in your packet.
Thank you, yeah, I thought I had some.
There you go.
Oh, there
He's
it
got
is.
it.
Yeah, so very simple, clean.
so there's just the monument sign, not a building, not on the
We're in the
building too?
process of getting approved for the building to match.
They do have a
There's gonna be
zoning.
two signs.
There's going to be a zoning board application for secondary signage in November, I believe, for the wall sign on front of the building. They've been approved for the ground sign as their primary sign.
By us,
Yes,
yes.
But we didn't see anything about two signs.
yes.
Yeah,
We approved two signs on that?
Well, you
When was that?
reviewed, one was forwarded on to the ZB,
and I see you next month for the second
When did
sign.
we approve two signs on
Right?
this?
Yes.
The previous
was
tenants
that?
did utilize both as well, so we were hoping to seek that same approval.
I certainly remember talking about the sign in the business, and we discussed it. And, I just can't remember whether we decided on two signs or one sign, or we approved one sign and said, well, if
Approved
you want
one
a
and-
second one, you have to come back again.
Yep,
That's what it was? It
yep.
approved
So I'll
one.
see you
and-
next month.
Does the,
here or going to ZBA?
I was
Oh,
gonna say, I
I'm sorry,
thought,
ZBA.
Yeah,
Forgive me.
that's what I thought, okay.
so apparently it did get approved for a second
so we approved
sign
the
from
second
us.
sign pending ZBA approval?
When was
Must be how we
that?
did it?
That's my
was that?
recollection, but I can
So-
Wow.
certainly,
Mine as well, but
I
When
can
was
certainly
that?
double check.
Do we know when that was?
I got the
Just because knowing we haven't been giving two signs to people, I'm just curious when the last time we did. This probably would have been
This
the
was
last
a while
one.
back.
It has been a while.
August, I believe,
Pardon me?
August.
August?
Of
Okay.
Last
21?
year, maybe? Might have
Of
been.
21?
No.
This August.
This August?
Wow, okay. I thought
Last
it was
month
earlier than
we
that.
did? Oh, wow.
No, couldn't have been August.
I don't think it was I don't,
Well, I wasn't here one meeting in August.
I wasn't either. Oh, that would make sense. Because the three of us haven't approved two
No.
signs on anybody for a long time. But if one
Right.
of us is missing, it would make sense. All right. Does anyone
Well,
have any other questions?
honestly, the yellow is better than the whatever that color is.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve is submitted.
Motion by Treasurer Keeps,
I'll support.
support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That does pass.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Was that approval for both signs?
Can you let them know for anything else they're doing, they have to get approval?
Absolutely,
Because they
yeah.
should not have been
Oh, we're
painting or doing
definitely
anything.
gonna have that talk this afternoon.
Because unfortunately, it makes me watch them a little closer going forward. So
understand.
it kind of gets a tickler file where like There's certain people, I spent a little time this weekend checking on some others this weekend.
Well, if you
They're
drive-
laughing because of it, but yeah.
By there now, you will see, they may have done it just to see it, and he is that concerned about appearance, because they did paint a small portion for testing the color, because I was concerned, you know, if we went too dark, too much heat retention, but I think it would work in our favor, actually, so, thank you, I do, yes, I will make him aware.
Yeah, thanks.
It was approved at the August, let me get there, August 3rd.
I wasn't here, that's why. I was like, I know I wasn't here to approve 2 signs.
Motion by Barnett and supported by Brooke to approve the request for
Listen, you
signage.
I was there.
No more of this. We have stopped the crazy
wasn't you,
signage.
I just supported you. There you go.
No more.
32 square foot internally illuminated ground sign must be landscaped with low growth shrubs. The 42 square foot wall sign is compliant with the B3 zone district regulations. A licensed sign contractor must pull the sign permits part of the installation of the new signs. The request is
No,
forwarded
I
to the
would've said no.
ZBA
Well, but he's-
for secondary signage.
said no.
One sign may be installed without ZBA approval, but not both. The motion was passed unanimously.
I was not here. Yes, we have brought in the signage issues,
I hope
Neil
you were
Barnett.
Well, you can't vote if you're not here.
Thanks, guys.
I took 1 day off in 2 years. Oh, 1 day. Neil.
The day before was, was election day. I was,
You weren't paying attention. All right. I knew, I was like, there's no way I approved that.
I do remember it.
You didn't approve it.
Seems like it was
No.
forever ago.
All right, next we have site plan special, and it was funny because that whole, I think it helped us by painting early, just so you know, I almost voted against it because of that. So for future reference, anyone who's watching, do not do things like that. All right, so next we have 1981 South Telegraph Road Wingstop.
Madam Supervisor, I have a conflict, so I'm going to recuse myself on this matter.
Okay, and do we need a motion to accept Neil on for this one, or we can just move forward?
I believe as long as it's noted, so noted in the minutes,
Perfect.
that would be fine.
All right, and welcome aboard.
So I will be sitting in for Brian on this issue.
And I got my eye on you.
This side of the table.
Right? All right. Thank
So the
you.
request before you is for site plan and special land use approval. The Wingstop is looking to operate with extended store hours at their existing location on 1981 South Telegraph Road within the village of Bloomfield Center from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. midnight, 7 days a week. The extended hours of operation will not have an impact on the current parking, circulation, or accessibility of the restaurant or shopping center. There are no additional exterior site improvements proposed, as this is an existing building with tenants currently operating out of. This was a empty space that Wingstop has leased and has opened in. And the as I mentioned, the exterior architecture and lighting are in keeping with the other commercial uses. Back in 2017, a photometric plan was submitted, and that it is in compliance and no spillover will be occurring onto adjoining properties. There's no additional noise or odor other than those customarily associated with a restaurant use. It does fit in with other businesses in the surrounding area that have gone through special land use approval. Some of those are outlined in your report, such as the roadside B&G Grill, Chipotle, Potbelly, Starbucks, all have varying hours of operation. And the reason for this request is the ordinance states that any hours of operation beginning earlier than 7 a.m. or ending later than 9 p.m. is considered a special land use in the B3 zone district, thus the request. And from here, this application will proceed on to the Planning Commission and then to Township Board for ultimate approval.
Do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so we opened
August 22nd. I was unaware that that was a special ordinance closing at 9 o'clock. So obviously we're following that. But our standard or normal hours operations is till midnight. We're carry out only. We don't serve alcohol. Most of the, like I said, carry out, but most of our business is delivery and call in, so there aren't many people coming in to order food and you know, wait around. So, and it's a significant part of our business. It's about 20 to 25%, but you know, it's not too much. It's not little either. So, we're next to the hospital right there, so we could serve, we could be another option for hospital workers. The Planet Fitness is 24 hours, which is behind us as well. So it's an alternative for food in the late night. So yeah, do you have any questions or?
I'll let you guys go first.
I don't have any questions, but I'm fine with the requests, considering that Fifth Tavern and Roadside B&G have up to midnight.
Only on
And
2 days, though.
yeah, I understand, but this is much lower impact. It doesn't have people who are coming in there to dine. There's no alcohol. Certainly not going to be a lot of traffic, and I'm fine with it.
Rago, do you have any questions? Or I can start if you're working on yours.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same observations as Neil with regard to the other local businesses and the hours there. And it's true, I think, that you know, the Fifth Tavern has a large eat-in crowd. They are serving alcohol. Same with Roadside Bar and Grill. Not as large, but it's an alcohol serving institution. But I am continuing to do a little looking, so please.
Sure. My issue is, so I see that there's nothing in that area that technically is farther, so I don't mind reaching out farther, but it does set a precedent that now anybody can say, well, somewhere else in the township, somebody gets this. So if we're gonna start doing that, I wouldn't wanna give extra, where now then Fifth Tavern and all them say, hey, they're open till Sunday at midnight, they're open Monday. So if we're gonna start doing this now where what everyone else has, everyone else gets, I wanna limit it to what we've already said, which is Friday, Saturday, you can go to midnight, but maybe do like 10 o'clock or something, which is still outside of normal hours for this area, it sounds. Or when do they close on Sunday through Thursday at Fifth Tavern and these other areas that are only open Friday, Saturday till midnight? I could always Google map it too, but,
Just to add,
It's like 10
McDonald's
p.m.
open until midnight.
because I thought they were 10.
This is
I thought it's 10
the
except for.
sushi place was approved to operate 10 to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, so I feel like 10's like our normal outside of business hour, but since they have gone to midnight on 2 nights a week, I don't mind that, but it seems like if we let one person go 7 nights a week, why wouldn't everybody else come back and start asking for 7 nights a week?
My other observation is, I recall going back to when Bo's was sold and reopened as Bo's Grillery, the hours of operation were, you may know this, Patty, but the hours of operation were requested for something like 10 or 11. Of course, they serve alcohol, and they never needed it because the business wasn't there that late. And so I'm thinking, even if we were to approve this to midnight, if Fifth Tavern and Roadside B&G would feel that there's a need for it as a business model, they could request it. In reality, I don't think they need it because the business isn't there on those other days. Certainly on the weekends it is. So, getting back to, if we give it to one, we have to give it to all. They would have to come to the Design Review Board or Planning Commission, whoever, and make that request and make the case for it. I don't think all of these other businesses would, because there's not a need for it. They would have to pay people, labor, et cetera. They would have to find people to work there. And there are different types of establishments. So I I think we're looking at apples and oranges.
No, I'm
So-
also thinking like Five Guys is right next to them. They could go to midnight. So if you're using that concept, you have a whole strip mall of fast food and takeout that could start wanting 7 nights a week. So I guess I don't mind making a concession past our normal ordinance to comply with what we've already, but I can see the slippery slope, which, you know, is why we dial back the signs so much, because it became 2 signs. Now I want 3 signs, and now everybody has temporary signs, and we've seen that an inch is not just a yard here, but an inch is like a football field here. So I guess I'm scared to give the football field away.
May I say something?
Sure.
I think McDonald's is in the area, and they're open till midnight, just right there on Telegraph.
When did they get approval for midnight?
Also,
I'd have to
also,
research. I don't-
also Five Guys, they open till 10, pretty much nationwide. That's their standard hours. as
IHOP
opposed
also
to-
has a blue roof nationwide, but not here.
I'm sorry?
IHOP has a blue roof nationwide, and Brian's pointed that out, but not here in Bloomfield. So I get that there's some national standards that we've already changed for a lot of national groups. But, yeah, I don't remember McDonald's coming
I'd
for
have to
midnight.
look, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. You
I'm
might have just
I
helped us
guess-
find another one.
That was actually the question I was curious about, which was if there's others that are open to midnight more than just Friday and Saturday night.
I know Burger King's like 8 or 9 p.m. They're not.
And
they're not-
staffing is a very
Yeah.
good
Staffing,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
but I don't remember McDonald's getting
Yeah,
approval till
McDonald's is
midnight.
actually 2 AM. I'm just looking here.
When have we ever given, so they might legally be open till 2 a.m.? And thank you for making note of that, because we'll check on them. But I don't remember giving 2 a.m. to
And
anybody.
we'd have to research, because obviously McDonald's has been here for a long time, so it might be not something recent.
Right, that would have been a long time ago if
Yeah,
it
well
was.
over 20 years.
Well, they
probably.
definitely haven't been open till 2 a.m. for the last few years, because, I mean, gosh, in COVID, they were barely open at all, but.
We found too that sometimes they don't update their websites, or their websites oftentimes are not the most accurate.
Just a
We'd have
standard.
to follow up.
Yeah, we'll check on McDonald's. Thank you for that. We'll
Yeah,
check on
sure,
them.
sure. But again,
But regardless, I would be more likely to bring them back into 10 or 11. But we have 3 votes, so you guys can talk about what you think.
Indicated earlier, too, that a large portion of your business is those later hours. Can you remind me again what that was?
About 20%. I said it's significant for the business, but it's not significant for
Okay.
when you're talking the whole day.
Is it mostly from 11 to midnight, or is it mostly from 9 to like 10 or 9 to 11?
It's from 10 to midnight. I'm sorry, it's from 9 to midnight. You know, it's pretty spaced out. Generally it depends on the store.
But they
So-
don't break it down by hour, like you wouldn't know from 9 to 10 if most of it's technically 9 to 10.
No.
Okay.
But from what I've seen from being in the restaurants, it's pretty consistently, equal. And now with the dynamic of having, the hospital next door, Planet Fitness, Lifetime Fitness being open 24 hours, I think that, that there's normal traffic patterns that it won't be disrupted. We'll have some of those guests as well.
Guarantee you, after exercising, people are gonna go get some wings. No doubt about it. Especially at midnight. But, well, those are all interesting facts. I wasn't, it's Planet Fitness, right? They have another location within the township, but, they're operating 24 hours.
I'd have to check the Planet Fitness at Maple, which is the one that's under our jurisdiction. The Planet Fitness that's
It's Pontiac.
on Bloomfield
Oh.
Park is under the
Yeah,
Pontiac.
it's not Bloomfield ordinances, that's why they're 24 hours.
Got it.
It's a
That makes
Pontiac
it complicated. So, but the Five Guys Beyond Juice, that part, they are within
This
our
one would be
township.
us, so if you, yeah.
But once you got, okay.
Yeah, all that other
Farther
stuff
back
is
in that,
Pontiac.
yeah, okay. Now we're talking Pontiac back here.
Yeah, we're pretty much just this front area to the hotel. Everything else is them. Like the American House technically also Pontiac, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And the building is the one that's next door to the Xfinity? Is that where they are?
Yep,
So we're
right behind.
right behind, right in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's the commercial strip that's in front of Aldi.
Yeah, it's the one.
Should there be any consideration to, a temporary approval? I mean, it seems to me that on some occasions there's been something like that to try it out. I'm not sure I'm suggesting, that would be what I want to do, but we've tried out different things with regard to eateries in the Maple Theater that were temporary.
That was also tied to a liquor license.
It was,
Yeah.
Different.
it
And
is.
this is a process, so go to the design review board, the planning commission, the township board. So this is the first step in the review process. So if there's-
Whether we say yes or no, it still goes to the next step.
Correct.
Yeah,
So if there's
but
Two more
information that-
steps.
Next steps, yes.
Yeah.
So if there's
But
more
it-
information that you want us
Yeah.
to glean as we proceed further, that'd be great to share with us. So we'll make sure that we do that.
And even if you're thinking that it might make them think differently, a yes or no, all they look at is it yes by the DRB? It's not like they would watch the video to see any of this. I mean, I sat on the ZBA and you just saw, oh, design review board approved it, okay, it's good.
And it doesn't have to go to the ZBA.
No, but I'm saying, like, when you're saying these other commissions, I want to make, she said they wanted to make sure that they knew if we say yes, that's all that they see is that we said yes.
We'll make sure there's a discussion in the minutes.
It's planning it goes to?
Yes,
Yeah.
After that, if
Board.
planning agrees, it goes to board,
even if
even if it doesn't agree.
yeah, a recommendation will be forwarded on to the township board, whether it's positive or negative, it still goes before the township board.
So we could say no, they could say no, and it goes to the township board, or any other combination of that still goes to the township board.
Because you have that board has the final authority.
Because of the hours?
Because it's a special land use.
Because of the
Yeah,
special-
and site
yeah.
plan, and plus the township board has the ultimate approval on any site plan or special land use. These are all recommending bodies. That's hard to say.
Can I make a motion to forward to the planning commission without approval or denial?
You can just forward it on to the planning commission, sure.
Without voting yes or no?
We still have to vote.
No, he's
Vote to
saying.
forward, just without, an approval or denial.
No.
Is that possible?
I don't-
You should make comment,
Why-
forward it on to the planning commission, with concerns with or.
Why wouldn't we want them to know a yes or no?
Well, just because there's more information. I mean, there's a couple questions we've asked, and those questions may impact my ultimate decision at the board table. As we're seeing this again, I'm just not sure, so sure. Anything I decide, I mean, so in the end, whatever I'm saying today may not necessarily be what I finally agree upon when we see the whole story
That happens.
at the
That
board
happens.
table.
Sure.
That happens.
So,
So, are you making a motion or not?
What's your motion?
I hadn't necessarily made a motion.
Okay, then
Sure.
I'll make a motion.
I'm Ryan, I'm the Director of Real Estate and
Hi,
Development
Ryan.
for us, and I just want to clarify so we're all kind of on the same page. It seems to me that the only angst or possible reason for not approving would be what happens later on, and everybody else would want the same thing.
Yep.
And so our neighbors, Five Guys, they must have went through this same process to get approval until 10 o'clock is when they close. That's their business model around the country. They didn't conform to Bloomfield standards. They asked for 10, they received 10 o'clock. So if we receive midnight, I don't think they're going to change their entire business model to be open until 12. And I don't think you'll really see a lot of other businesses doing that. As it was already pointed out, the restaurants that have it for Fridays and Saturday nights, it's because that's when they're busy and they have it. They can't support the staff and they don't have the customers to do it every other day. So I think, I don't know, I don't understand the idea that everybody all of a sudden is going to be open, until midnight. Aldi, they close early, but they close early everywhere. Again, Five Guys, they came in here, they asked for 10, they received 10. And it's not,
If they
I'm quite
asked
sure
for
they didn't
midnight,
ask for
So
mi-
they wouldn't have gotten midnight from me either.
but that's a what if, situation, because it's been approved. McDonald's is midnight.
We're not sure, actually. The 2 a.m., I can't even imagine that
Well,
somebody.
maybe the
would
2
not-
a.m. was a mistake on their website, but they are open till.
I'm thinking
until
that they're
midnight.
doing
So
that without
It's happened,
approval.
but that's, again, that's McDonald's. That, they are a midnight company. If we got 4 in the morning, all of a sudden they're not going to be open. It's not, I don't think it's a following situation.
I just want to
It's-
make sure you know, we don't follow people's corporate.
I
I want to make
understand.
sure you know that that doesn't help my argument.
I understand that fully. I'm just relating it really to Five Guys, that it's a business model that they had, and I don't think corporate's going to change their business model.
They did change
to
their
open
sign
rate.
model for us.
Sign's
So
fine.
we
I
just came
understand.
in and took down all their
Right.
signs.
And I see
And
McDonald's
they'd
and they have to
used
be
the
on the inside.
national thing, and we said, we don't care.
They've
Take
given
down
us
all your
warning. No.
signs.
Hey, we did the same thing.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. It's the model of the business and the profitability and the sales that I don't think that model changes. We can always change aesthetics.
So-
It's that. So that, I just want to make that,
I'm going to use
Clear,
you
so.
guys and your strip mall as the reason why everybody in the township now has signage issues. Because those of you next to Five Guys decided, and I'm not saying you in particular, but there are people on that strip mall that decided everybody should have tons of signs in their windows. So they all decided to look like Five Guys. So what happens is what you do for one, you do for all.
Right.
Every single strip mall now has been checked on their signage because, well, Five Guys had it, why can't I have it? And we had how many violations? Over 60 violations. Five Guys had it, why can't I? So you have to realize that I love your passion for your argument, but I have experience and proof that it is absolutely what's going to happen.
well, I understand that. I think stickers are a little different than hours of operation, but that's, I mean, in my opinion. I mean, but I just want to make it kind of clear that we're, it's a corporate, it's our, it's the business model. It's not something specific to this area. In Five Guys, it's the business model. It's not specific to that site. So
Okay.
thank you.
I'd like to
So
make a
can I
motion.
quickly say, I just want to say one thing, is that, and I think the apples to apples, I mean, when we find apples to apples, I've tried to be consistent, and there can be lots of reasons why there aren't apples to apples. And the other thing I'm looking for is there some compelling business reason to make a variation from what we've got? And you've talked about the compelling business reason as far as your model. It's not the answer, but, and when the business arrives, those are important factors, I think. And what I'd say is, do I think that this should be treated the same as, are they apples and apples? Aren't they apples and apples? Is there some basis for a variation in the hours rules? Those will ultimately, but when I'm sitting at the board table and I make my final decision, we're going to look at, how others are treated, what the consistency of that is in my mind. Are there apples to apples comparisons? Are we establishing a slippery slope or are we not? And the business need, factor. And I'm unconvinced that the others here, that Roadside or Fifth Tavern, which sell alcohol and have a lot of indoor seating, are really are comparisons to you at all, because your business model is not the same. So I'm certainly willing to support moving this on in the process, but I can tell you, not until I hear more information, and will I, make a decision at the board table when we see this topic at that time. So
are you making a motion?
I could make a motion to forward this to the Planning Commission for their consideration.
Motion by Clerk Brooke,
I will support that.
support by Trustee Barnett. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. Okay, it does pass 2-1.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm just trying to be upfront with you now instead of at the board table and surprising you later. Sorry.
Okay.
All right. So next we have, is there any general business?
There's not today.
Okay. Then our next meeting date is Thursday, October 6th. And with that, I look for a meeting to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by,
wanna take it from
moved by Trustee Barnett, almost made him treasurer. Moved by Trustee Barnett, support by Clerk Brooke. All in favor?
Aye.
That does pass.
Thank you.